That's the way to be.
Happy Tuesday evening and welcome to Island Origins Live, because we're live. So we have two fabulous guests on this evening. Sorry, did I introduce myself?
I don't know. I don't think you did.
To all these people who don't know, so hi guys, I'm Calibe. My name is Calibe. I'm just Calibe, right? This is Mr. Sexy Man. That's on his birth certificate. I'm just Calibe. But welcome to Island Origins Live, where you'll find us every Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. You can also, of course, find us in Island Origins Magazine in print. You can find us online at Island Origins Mag. And sometimes you can find us on TV too. So, Mr. Sexy Man, how are you doing this evening?
I am spectacular. Welcome, everyone.
Sexy as usual?
Every day.
All right, so this evening we are talking about culture and art. And not just culture and art, but how do you actually make money from culture and art?
Ooh,
right? Artists are supposed to be starving all the time. Why do people say that?
I have Julia's still a winner.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know that it makes any sense whatsoever. Like, the whole concept of being an artist is something very special, and being someone who has the ability to be creative is something that is, for me, what I find in others to be so special, and I treasure those people, and I fight very hard personally to uplift people who have those types of talents.
Right.
I find that there are some people who would want to take advantage of such people, and I don't understand why that would be the case, because these are just very special people. Whether you have a musical, artistic talent, or a dancing talent, or a painting talent.
I guess there's a stigma or some kind of thing that says that art or artistry is hobby stuff. Like it's the stuff you're supposed to do real work to go and do on the side.
No way on earth that anybody could think that. That's not even. It's not even what people do. Like who?
David, come on, you grew up in Jamaica.
Okay. So
real jobs are lawyers and doctors and teachers.
But that
and
was in
engineers.
1950. That's not 2018.
That was in 1977 when I was born.
Okay.
So.
I'll be honest. Yeah. I do recall my art teacher in high school told me, "Don't pursue art."
Right.
Which, of course. Because it's all I do.
and you get paid for it.
And somebody gives me money every now and then.
Every now and again. Sexy man is balling. So.
I'm going to say that I've never found art to be my problem.
Right.
It did, though, taint my wanting to accept myself as an artist. Right. Judy, you can bring her on. And I had to overcome the stigma which was told to me that an artist is not as worthy, so that I could get to the point where I called myself an artist. But once you get there, life is great, because it's so good to be on this side. It's so good.
You're fortunate. some of us are artists and still have not found that thing where people respect your work, but somehow they still don't feel like they need to pay for it. Like, I can't go into your store and be like, here, Mr. Auto Parts Place, you have a lug nut that I'm going to buy, and it says $10, but I'm only going to give you $5. But from my art, for the work that I do as an artist or a graphic designer or a website designer, that's the worth of it. It's just whatever I feel like paying you. It's unfortunate. So this evening, we're rambling a little bit, but this evening we're just waiting for one more person to come on set. But we have two people with us from the Broward County Cultural Division, and they are going to be talking. We have some fans of those people. We live in an artist loft. Both of us we live together, me and David.
Every day, all day.
Two doors down from you.
No escape, no surrender.
You will never get away from me. And Nikki, right? So, three of us live in this building. It's an artist loft in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and it's supported in some kind of way. I don't know what the actual paradigm is, but everybody in this building has some kind of connection to the Broward County Cultural Division.
We definitely do. Okay. Even those who don't participate, they have the connection too.
Have the connection. And so we have the honor of having two of the people in the Broward County Cultural Division with us this evening. We were supposed to have a lady named Stephanie, what's her last name? Jones. Stephanie Jones from Cultural Heritage. Just say it, not even. I have to stop and embarrass myself.
You know it.
Oh my gosh, no, I can't remember all these words. So many words.
Yes.
I know words. Sorry. I won't go down that road. But anyway, so we have, Stephanie wasn't able to make it. She had a health issue. She apologizes for not being able to be here. But she has a company where she actually takes culture and makes tours out of it. She's turned it into cultural tourism, and she does this in Miami, and she does it in Broward. But the other guest that we had scheduled, Adriane Clarke, is here with us, and one of her associates from the Broward County Cultural Division is here as well, Grace Kewl. And Grace Kewl is actually very cool.
Grace Kewl, Durfee.
Durfee.
Sorry.
I didn't hear that.
I won't do that.
But while we're waiting for Grace to come on, let's just get started with Adriane. Adriane, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm actually gonna give you a little bit of Adriane's background. Adriane was born in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. And she studied communication and ethnic studies in South Florida. She applies her knowledge and appreciation for the arts through her work as a grants manager within Broward County's Cultural Division, where she manages the Creative Investment Program grants, the Creative Investment Program grant, and supports the implementation of professional development programs like Artist as Entrepreneur, to benefit local artists and cultural arts organizations. Adriane, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So can you tell us a little bit about your own background and your relationship with the arts?
Wow. Okay, so like you mentioned, I was born and raised in the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, to be exact. I always tell people that I grew up surrounded by the arts. Interestingly enough, surrounded by the arts and entrepreneurs. So I think I came full circle at this moment in time. I always tell people that being from the Caribbean, you can't help but have an appreciation for the arts because it's kind of entrenched in every single aspect of our lives. The beauty of the surroundings, yes, but then we have cultural activities, participation in carnival, rehearsing for months at a time to be ready for the parade and that kind of thing. So I've always been interested in the arts personally. I write, I draw, paint,
Okay. So that's your background, and we are going to have Miss Grace Kewl join us on set as well. Now, unfortunately, because of the last minute switch up, I don't actually have a bio for Grace Kewl, but I think her name kind of just says it all. Yeah. It's just cool. Like, you see Grace, and you know Grace, right? You're always going to see the sparkly glasses and the blue hair and the stuff and the clothes and the fashion.
And the personality.
And the personality and the smiles. Like, bam. Wow.
And the secret.
What's the secret?
My grandfather's Bahamian.
So we have a Caribbean connection.
Yes,
all right.
we have the Caribbean
it all
connection.
works out.
So I had to let it out of the bag.
So you eat that crack conch and all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
All right. So Grace, you're gonna have to do your own intro for us this evening. You're just cool.
Just tell us about, and you're going to be looking.
straight ahead.
This is water.
No.
We didn't spike it.
I'm going to use my creative energy.
Imagine.
Oh, it's in a glass.
It's in a glass.
Yeah, right. Y'all some...
We are.
Right?
We're pretty.
Some bougie Caribbean folks.
I know.
Sedity is a term I heard for the first time on Scandal. Was it Scandal or was it How to Get Away with Murder? Sedity.
Salud.
All right. Salud.
Awesome.
All right. So Grace Kewl, introduce yourself to us and to our viewers.
The brief one, Grace.
Yeah. She's running through the file.
Yeah, like the files in the head was just clicking off.
Oh, you know what? It's just really great to be here.
Yes, I like that.
It's
Great
really
to have
good
you.
be here.
How did you end up with blue hair?
I cut my dreads, man. I grew my dreads for like 15 years. And then, I was inspired by Mr. Muir over here.
Right.
And then, you start hitting like close to 50. And you're like, all right. So the dreads were great. And then I was like, I'm going to do something different. But it's faded because I have more of an electric blue. So I just haven't had time because, we're all some hard-working people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we don't take the time to take care of ourselves in the way that we need to, but I have moisturizer. I do my eyebrows in the bathroom.
All right.
So
but
I knew.
Grace is a character.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
She fits right in.
Right in. Right,
perfect.
they're kind of yin and yang.
Exactly.
Yin and yang, like Adrian is like
that's what we
calm and
always
balanced,
say.
and Grace is like,
We're all Marvel. That says because get this.
yeah, okay.
So
All right, so tell us about how did you both get into the cultural division? Like, how does one get a job over there?
in arts and culture in general.
I think, yeah.
You have a global
sure.
audience
Sure,
there,
sure.
right? So.
But in the cultural division, like in a place where that becomes your work, like advocating.
I think, for me anyway, the essential aspect is that the cultural division is a local arts agency. It's a division of Broward County's government. So applying for a job at the division is just like applying for any other county job. It seems, even before I started working there, it was kind of like, wow, how did you do that? But really, it turns out you just go online, Broward.org, look at all the listings and see which one resonates with you. When I was transitioning into this position, I was actually working for the Urban League of Broward County. And while I was there, I did a lot of youth development work and arts integration work. So it seemed like a natural progression to try to find a job in arts administration, which is kind of like the big category of what we both do for the division.
How about you?
Well, I've been doing it for a long time.
No, I've been like at the intersection of arts, culture, and entertainment, community, and economic development, youth development I think I've hit my 30th year. And I started the first arts and cultural program at the nonprofit I worked for and was groomed under, which was all about empowerment and change. And I did mentoring. It's like wherever I've gone, the arts have been here, been with me. I mean, it's never not been. It's like it's an infection, it's a drug. It's a drug. And because I studied arts in school, and that was my minor in college, and it put everything together. And I'm part of the Me Too. And that's one of the things that it helped save my life. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're talking about access and we're talking about people getting that other layer of the arts, it was just it came natural for me. And I was actually I spent like several years mentoring with the LA Lee YMCA, and doing my own working with festivals and just being part of the scene. And I had originally wanted to get into economic development with the county. But then they had a part-time opening. I started part-time. I had half benefits, and I started in public art and design. Did that for a while, and got into the education sector piece of the program, and that was when the recession hit and we got decimated. And it was just really beautiful because all of my funding got cut. That's not the beautiful part.
That's so beautiful.
But it is, it's kind of like that. Like you have a tsunami come through your fields, and then you have to replant and you have to redo things, and it's just been a big labor of love in helping to move the division forward within its new paradigm. And I do stuff at the national level, taught university and cultural equity. I got the state level stuff going on. So it's just, it's really being part of the scene. So when I retire, I'm going to be able to do my art full time. So we have a lot of artists in the division, and that's the big thing with the arts and cultural sector nationally. It's like that's your home, and your home is going to help groom you. So stay in your home, don't get out of it, but you need to know what the playing field is of your home domestically and internationally. So you have a whole, like if like in your industry and what you do, you know what your playing field is.
Right.
So you're never not going to be part of that. And it's the same thing within the arts and cultural sector. It's your home for life. And so you have this field to move through to be able to build a body of work in the same way that an artist does.
But okay, so both of you though are advocates for artists. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, I would say that we
This is really cool about, because Adriane's really, I'm in the institutional kind of infrastructure kind of person, and Adriane does like an incredible amount of hands-on with cultivating and
So
working
what
with.
she's saying is she's an advocate for the artist, meaning me. She's pointing over to me. I would say that as a part of the mission of what we do, we advocate for artists.
Right.
Our division is one of the few funders of individual artists directly.
So you specifically, Adriane, deal with grants
Right.
for you want to go somewhere?
I do want to go somewhere. Just
Okay.
a little bit, because
Okay.
I think there is a bigger picture that maybe missed here.
Yes.
It isn't what we could ask then is what's the mandate of the county for their involvement with artists or with arts in general, because I think that's really the bigger understanding. It's like not what their individual is, but what is the organizational goal for how they work with arts.
So I mean, understanding the mission of the division is crucial, right? So the mission is to enhance the cultural environment through the development of the arts, right? And so anything associated with developing the arts in Broward County, we are a part of.
Good.
Okay.
So is it that the creation of this arts, any part of the arts in Broward, is it because we want it for the residents of the county, for the visitors of the county, for the organizations that reside within the county? Who is it that, or is it everybody? Is it all the above?
It's everybody.
So that's like, what's the role of a designated local arts agency in your
Exactly.
community? And you have designated local arts agencies around the country.
Right.
And essentially all their missions are tied to the advancement of the arts and cultural sector.
Right.
So I feel very fortunate, and I will say blessed, and that goes in with my work in terms of public sector investment, because we are a designated local arts agency of government,
Right.
which is different from a private nonprofit that works in partnership with their government. So there are different types of designated local arts agencies.
Right.
And they each have their mission, but we're here to support the whole county. And again, we are, a lot of people don't know, and that the cultural division is recognized throughout the country for its work, because we are one of the few arts agencies that does support individual artists.
Right.
So we deal with everybody. We have a very a lot of work to fulfill between grants and marketing and public art and
art,
design,
arts education,
cultural tourism development, and so we're at the cutting edge.
I love it.
and just to go a little bit just to reiterate the point, being an agency of the local county government gives us the opportunity to reach a lot further, right? So though we're located in downtown Fort Lauderdale, we serve all
Broward.
31 cities of
Right.
Broward, right? And that influences a lot of the ways that we go about doing our job. So sometimes you'll have an artist come from Miami and say, well, I want to apply for one of your grants. Why can't I apply? I'm going to do the project in Broward. And I have to say, the requirement is that you're a Broward County resident.
So sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
At least for my program. And then we also have a grant that Grace manages for community-based teaching artists. And they can actually be artists from across the region. So Dade,
Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Dade, Martin, and
So
Monroe.
Dade people can apply.
For that program, doing programming in Broward.
Okay.
And that's what's unique about the Community Arts Education Partnerships Grant Program, because it really focuses on teaching artists and cultural arts and cultural education.
Right.
And so many of our individual providers work throughout the region.
Okay.
So that requires a partnership with a nonprofit or a public entity, and they can live anywhere, but the work has to take place in Broward.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, David, but I am going to go back to the question that I was asking.
Before you do that, one pause.
Like,
I just want to say to everyone watching, if you have questions, if there's a mismatch, if something didn't come across, please ask us your questions. We will read your questions, and hopefully our guests will be able to answer. So please put your questions in the comments and start to think about what we're talking about. We have a giveaway a little bit later. We're going to do a giveaway, some tickets. So stay
Hit
tuned.
share and tag a friend who is an artist, because I'm going to get into my
share.
questions
Share.
that I would want to know,
Okay,
right?
all right, okay.
So I'm going right back to what I was going to ask before. Thank you. So what I was going to ask before is about the grants, right? Because we want to find out how you get some money if you're an artist. And you know, you want to paint a picture, you want to do something. You're talking about individual artists getting financial support, right? Not just painting in your house and you're looking at your pretty pictures. Talk about what is a grant, right? What is a grant as opposed to some other type of funding? Right. How do people actually have access to these grants? Because it's you know, quote unquote free money, but you do have to do a little bit of work. You do have to have some qualifications, etc., etc.
There's no such thing as
No
free
such
money.
thing as free money.
People
Let's
think
not
of it.
propagate.
You're right. People
let's
think
not do
of it
that.
as free money, but you do have to do some work toward these grants. You have to. There are requirements. Talk about that side of it.
So, okay, where to start? A grant, you could kind of think, okay, so grants vary from loans. You don't pay grants back, right? Grants are investments to advance a mission, right? I always encourage people to consider, okay, let me back up a little bit. What I'll say is, for our funding, artists are required to meet certain eligibility requirements. You have to be over 18 years old. Like I mentioned before, a Broward County resident who is a practicing professional artist. So you mentioned before about hobbyists, right? Not a hobbyist. I am a hobbyist. I paint one picture every 3 years. I write some poems steadily for a month and then nothing, and nobody ever sees them. You know, it's a hobby for me, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people like yourselves who are creating bodies of work, right? They're creating bodies of work. They're pursuing their art form to the highest point of excellence, and they're sharing it with the public, right? And also, they're thinking about their work entrepreneurially. Right. So those are the types of artists who would more or less be eligible for funding. The key to to that is that grants don't suit every particular scenario, right? In our case, we're looking for projects that will have a public benefit for the most part. So if you're a painter and you want to do an exhibition, that's great. But how are you engaging the community? What's your reasoning behind doing this particular project? If you're a dancer, what are you doing? We have some amazing artists locally who find ways to share their craft on a sometimes global level and really think about their art form in different ways, right? That would resonate with the public. So we've had choreographers who create bodies of work with non-dancers, right? So they engage the public who, you know, non-dancers, so postal workers, garbage men, whoever, and incorporate them into their work, expose them to movement and that type of thing, and then stage a public performance.
Okay.
So it's taken a unique spin on it. Like I mentioned before, because our mission is to develop the arts, the cultural landscape locally, we are looking at these projects as an opportunity for us to expose the residents of Broward County and visitors to more and more dynamic representations of art. Right?
And
it's an investment.
Right. Your program is for individual artists specifically.
And nonprofits.
And nonprofits.
Small nonprofit organizations as well.
And then you work with, you said...
We both, so the two programs that the division has for individual artists is Adriane's program, which is really that creative investment, public representation. It's about the artist's work and engaging with the public and really getting the public aware and informed about all the various talents that we have out here. And then mine is for individual artists and educators, and it's more, we do residencies. You can fund a residency.
What's a residency?
So the categories, key categories, you have a couple workshops, and then you have residencies. So your workshops, you know, you one or two day engagements. Residency is sort of our longer term encounters with art making experiences or cultural education. So that's one of the things that we always are interested in learning from, because sometimes artists will come in looking for, hey, I want to get funded, what do I do? And Adriane will talk to them and say, no, you need to talk to Grace, because that's a workshop, it's education.
Gotcha.
Okay, so there's a different level of engagement and awareness. It's more education oriented rather than experience versus all things can be educational. It's just that depth and degree. So we fund the 1 or 2 day workshops. We fund the longer term residencies, and they range from one project I love talking about is we did arts integration training for Parks and Recreation staff. In library, we are working with library staff too. So we often know, you know, in the public sector, funding can be, you know, it's not always guaranteed. So what do you do to keep the arts moving forward when the funding isn't always there? Well, you get your employees invested in it, and you get their juices flowing. So we do a lot of professional development around that end. We have some artists who do projects with seniors, our special populations. So they work hand in hand very nicely.
Nice. Okay. So we have a lot of good stuff going on in this show. We are going to take a commercial break now, but before that, I want to congratulate Andrea Dixon. We told you all last week that one of our subscribers to our website would win those 2 tickets to the American Friends of Jamaica Gala. And Andrea was there with a friend of hers. The 2 of them were dancing up a storm, having a great time, eating all that nice uptown food. Uptown beef and uptown asparagus.
I like that.
Really good
food. I don't know if I knew that.
It's the day. In Jamaica, it's the day. Okay. Yes, and I have to say congratulations to the American Friends of Jamaica. They raised a whole lot of money on that night for causes in Jamaica. If you have not heard of them, please go to theafj.org. You can donate a little bit, you can donate a lot. It all goes to help Jamaica.
Out of curiosity, how much did they raise while you were on stage emceeing?
It was, I don't want to speak out of turn, it was over $100,000 while I was...
I'm telling you.
I was heading up the pledge drive, but I don't have exact numbers, so I'm going to
Calibe was budding them up. Only 10,000? Come on, you can give more.
So if you want to hire an MC to support your fundraiser, you're a perfect person.
Not MC, but if you need somebody to dig out some money out of people's pockets.
Okay.
Pocket tickets. Yes. I enjoy that part. So we are heading into the commercial commercial break. And of course, we want to thank our supporters, DMR Media, who is responsible for all of this fabulous camera switching and graphics work and stuff that you see. Hey, by the way, they just did our ad for the Tasty Islands experience. Did you bring it? Are you going to show it during the show, Magic? All right, Magic is probably not going to show it during the show, but if you need commercials done, if you need this type of setup, if you need drone work, if you need After Effects and all the cool video stuff, DMR Media is who you want to go to. It's dmr4u.com, am I right? And I ask that question every week. All right.
And you're still
and I'm
right.
always right. Thank you. All right, our next sponsor, advertiser, supporter is Nikki Lopez Creative, who does all of our social media. When you're asking the questions and you're seeing somebody interacting with you online, that's our girl Nikki with the pink dreadlocks. She has her own live after this at what time is that? 8:30?
8:30.
At 8:30, if you go to
Nikki Lopez Creative.
Nikki Lopez Creative on
Facebook.
Facebook. She'll be on there talking about arts and culture every week. We're only doing it one time, but she does it every single week. She has a different person on talking about the arts community, and she's great for graphics, for social media, for whatever you need to make yourself look good, branding, all that good stuff. And of course, we have to call out the Tasty Islands experience. What is that?
What do you
What's
mean?
the Tasty Islands experience?
It's an exceptional culinary event happening on June the 2nd.
June the 2nd.
That's right.
Oh.
It's going to be all-inclusive food, all-inclusive drink, and a whole lot more.
What's the more?
Including a culinary theater, the culinary museum,
What is that?
chef demonstrations.
Ooh.
There's a lot. I don't think we have
I
enough
wanna
time
go.
on the show.
I heard there was a massage studio.
Yeah, that's true.
I heard there was a glam studio.
That is also true. If those things mean something to you, those things
They mean something
mean
to some of us.
absolutely nothing to this
From
guy.
uptown, the Sedilly folks, you know.
Glam Studio, what is that doing for me?
David, you.
I need it, huh?
There was a time when you had the football hair and all that stuff. But anyway, back to the show.
Yes.
Let's
do it.
Let's be professional.
Yes.
Back to professionalism. Okay. So, there was a burning question I have and I forgot it.
It's okay.
When you turn 40, right? These things happen to your brain. I had a burning question. Oh, you know what? I wanted to ask you, who are, or give me some of like the stories of success that have touched your heart, that have passed through your program.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I wanted
We're
to
still
know.
standing.
Stories of
Yeah.
success. So I'm a bad person to ask this question because
Because everybody's winning.
everybody is a story of success that touches my heart.
Which one comes first to mind? Not David.
Not David.
Not David.
Just gonna say David.
No. No cheating.
Can I say Nikki?
No.
Yeah.
Nobody in this
No.
room.
Oh,
Nobody
my
in this
goodness.
room. Try again.
Nobody in this room.
Nobody
How about
in
in this building? No.
This building.
This building.
This
okay.
building is-
Yes.
This building is
Yes.
definitely a story of success. You want to talk about that?
No.
The whole building.
Yeah,
you
it
wanna
is.
talk about-
Okay.
It was a lot
Because
of
you mentioned
challenges.
it before. Yeah, it is a public investment. Do you know about the arts license plate?
No.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's a license plate dedicated to the arts, and I forget what the percentages are in terms of how much money from that fund.
Is Deborah Kerr watching?
Deborah,
Deborah, if
please.
you're watching.
Tell us. Put it in the comments.
If you're watching, please
Deborah.
like, please share, please
Share.
comment. Yes. Ooh, she has flyers.
Yeah.
Collateral.
I learned from Jim Shermer. He's the
Yeah,
best at this.
Jim's pretty good at it.
He always has flyers.
Jim, if you're watching.
Shout out to
20
Jim.
of the $32 of the license plate is tax deductible and returned back to Broward County.
Right.
Very nice.
Nikki Lopez Creative,
you,
y'all.
Nikki, right?
On the ball.
See, that's
Right.
one of the tricks. You have the community speak for you.
20 out of every
$32.
$32 goes to what?
It comes
Tax
back.
deductible and returned back to Broward County.
Very
Right.
nice.
So get your arts license plate.
Get your arts license plate. And so the arts license plate, the fund is what they use to contribute to supporting the building of the artist lofts where we are right now.
Nice.
Because you have to have a diversified portfolio.
Yes, we do.
And whatever that you do.
Yes, we do.
And that's one of the things
Yes,
that
we
we
do.
have.
Right.
But no, tell me
Okay,
about
so
a person,
stories
not a
of
program.
success.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. Wow.
Willie
it's
Stewart.
oh my gosh. Willie Stewart, you know Willie Stewart.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows Willie Stewart.
You're on Jamaica.com.
He's hard not to know.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I actually met Willie before I started working at the division. I was doing a summer camp, running a summer camp at Broward College through the Urban League, and we were able to hire this. We had big visions of doing this cultural performance at the end, and we hired Willie Stewart to come in and teach the students. And I was just like, how is this gonna work? There are like 200 kids. How is one man gonna teach 200 kids how to drum, in a way that's gonna be performance worthy in like 4 weeks? And when I met Willie, I understood. I got a clear understanding that one, it was possible, and two, he was the one to do it. I mean, he's a force of nature. We all know that. Watching him is like amazing. And beyond just his performance, watching him impact and interact with the students is amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yes, Willie is definitely one of our success stories.
Individual artists and or organizations.
Sure.
Oh, we
have so many.
Mr. Shermer.
I know we fund. The thing is that we fund.
We groomed a lot of organizations from here to majors like Hollywood Art and Culture Center, Young at Art Museum. We contribute to Broward Center for the Performing Arts, of course. Museum of Discovery and Science.
Because we fund
Florida Children's Theater.
Oh yeah, Janet. We fund over somewhere between 150 to 170 awards every year.
Wow.
Only a small portion of that is individual artist funding, small cultural organizations, then we go mid-sized, and then majors. We have maybe about 6 or 7 regional organizations. So those would be like, Miami City Ballet,
symphonies.
Right.
So we do the ballet, the symphony, your traditionals, and then everything else as well. So we have like a nice cross.
And between the two of us, we try to also kind of diversify the mix of projects that we are supporting in our program. So what I like to do is I like to look at who are we currently funding, what are their disciplines, and what are we not funding, right? For a while, we had no film to speak of outside of Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. So, but I knew that there were individual artists making independent films and that type of thing. And so it's difficult to fund film because all of our funding is reimbursable funding, right? So you have to have money to put out up front, and then you're reimbursed for eligible expenses. But and that's hard for movies, right? Because you need money
to make it.
You have to have money to make it.
Yeah.
So what I try to explain to everyone who inquires, this funding is good. This funding is intended for the public presentation of your work, right? So it's not the money to help you write your book or make your movie, but it's the money to help you get your project out to the public. Okay.
Right.
So,
you know what? What is the process to get the grant? Because I went through it the other day and it's work. I think the free money idea comes from the fact that you don't have to pay it back.
Right.
Is the idea, as opposed to a loan that you have to pay it back.
Right.
But there's work involved.
there's a lot of work involved.
And you have to have a good product.
Right.
So what are the qualifications? Real quick, what are the qualifications, or what do you need to do in order to get a grant?
Well, the very first thing that you should do is go to our website, www.broward.org/arts.
You have to do like that //
/arts.
Okay.
and
determine eligibility.
right. So you go to funding, you hit the funding tab, and the very first step is for you to complete the determination of eligibility. Once we review your eligibility, you would, in some instances, each program is different. We have 9 funding programs, right? We're only representing 2 of the 9 tonight, but for individuals, you would also submit a brief synopsis of the project that you'd like to fund. And then once you do that, if it's approved, then you complete the full application.
Which is a whole heap of work.
A whole other thing.
All right.
Well,
So
that's where your work comes in. You don't have to pay the money back, but you got to put stuff up front because it's about getting investment.
And the thing is too, why I like to tell people that it's not free money is because anytime you take money from someone, it is to accomplish something. Right? And in this case, it's to help us advance our mission.
So you're not paying back money, but you're paying back in some kind of
service,
in-kind,
right? You know, you're serving the
enriching
art
the community.
field, you're enriching the arts community.
Right.
There's a question.
Yay.
Someone said, does credit play into receiving a grant?
We don't.
Not
that's
currently.
That's a great
Track record.
Track record, yes.
Which
Right.
is documentation.
right.
Who you're partnering with. That's why partnerships and
Collaborations are critical,
important.
absolutely.
And like a couple of our successful partnerships where we've been able to really support the work of individual artists in our small and mid-sized organizations. School Board of Broward County, Florida, we just did a resolution in January celebrating 30 plus years of partnership, which is awesome. And we've moved forward into education through cultural heritage and tourism, and that connects to a lot of the work that we're doing in the community with individual artists. Housing Authority of the City of Fort Lauderdale. So we have our residency program. They're partners in cultural tourism and development. Dillon Foundation. So we have partners in the community that are really set up and really want to support individual artists. So it's like we have, even if you don't have a like this track record, it's amazing to go through the process with Adriane and go through that determination of eligibility because that kind of stuff can be intimidating, right? But we apply for loans for cars and stuff like that, and really go through this process because we want you to be successful. So our whole, one of the things that is beautiful about our agency is bringing people through the fold and cultivating the work and getting them to a point where they can be fundable, because once you prove your fundability through a county agency, that sets you up for all these other funding sources. And sometimes we have folks who just kind of stay with us, and it's like, whoa, you have a mad track record. You can attract additional dollars.
Push them out of the nest.
So
why?
Yeah, so we're and so that's one of the things too that I like about the CAPE grant is you have to come in with a partnership. But of course, somebody says, hey, I don't have a partnership. Okay, what do you want to do? Okay, who are we working? What partners do we have in our pool now that might be interested in working with you? So our organizational and institutional partners provide a lot of support so that you can do what you do best and you can also get paid. So
break it down.
Break it down. I do want to sort of jump in here. You brought up something, and I think it's important. Just as a working artist, as somebody who's out there in the community, I found it it's so great once you make the first step.
Yes.
So many doors can open up for you once you actually get involved. It's just because you mentioned the Old Little Museum, and I'm going to tell you, I would have thought that the Old Little Museum is just a little small space that doesn't have a lot of impact. And I did a show there, I don't even remember what year it was now, and the amount of people who told me about the impact of that show, how it meant to them, what they saw.
I wasn't invited.
No, I don't even know if we were really close yet.
How could that be?
But the impact of just being involved and how just being at one place leads to so many others.
Other opportunities.
Because it's been definitely, which when you said, hey, David, you have it, like a part of it is because I did one thing and then I didn't stop there. Because
Right.
once you follow the path, there's so many. Yeah, it's
With
a
the self-determination.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
when you posed the initial question about can culture make cash, in my mind I was like, yeah, I can make cash, but it depends on you.
Right,
You know what I mean?
So to that end, because we do have to wrap it up, and we have
wow.
Dr. Sue coming on in a second. But talk about the Artist as Entrepreneur program that's
I have
coming
a
up.
flyer. Oh, even
Oh.
better.
You have
it's in a
page
magazine.
Oh, what magazine is that?
Can I know this is where you want
This
to
is Island Origins. I have a little tab right here.
I've never seen that before. That looks fabulous.
Hey, there we go. Artist as an Entrepreneur Institute.
Page
is-
5, yes.
Right. It's a program that presents business skills for artists.
Right.
It's taught over 4 Saturdays in June. It costs $100, but I've been told from graduates, any graduates in the room?
All right.
At least 2 graduates in the room.
Yep.
That it's sort of like getting an MBA
In 4
in
weekends.
4 weekends.
Right.
It's very intense.
Right.
8:30 in the morning, we're there,
Right.
getting ready to receive everyone, and then we sometimes didn't leave until 6 p.m. But essentially, the faculty, they're both local faculty as well as nationally recognized faculty, take you through the paces of business development skills. But they're all usually artists themselves. I highly recommend this program. Actually, I made a note to tell everyone that there are probably somewhere about 20 spaces available still for this summer.
And how do they get in? Just give them the website.
Just go to eventbrite.com and do Broward Cultural Division, and you'll see or Artist as Entrepreneur, and it'll come up.
Okay, fantastic. And of course, you can get the information in Island Origins magazine.
Did you all share your presentation to the council?
Huh?
No, we did not talk about
which
we.
one?
You talked
We
about
just
no,
did it
you all
this
just-
week.
You all were presented in front of the Broward Cultural Council for your work, and that's an example of what we're talking about. Both of you. This is what we're talking
So
about.
see,
right
there's
here.
our
So
story right
that's
there.
the story. That's the
Success
success.
story.
Thank you
Success
guys.
story.
Great
Thank
job
you
to end
guys
on.
so very much. All right, we're not ending yet, so we're going to ask you guys to hang on while we invite Dr. Sue on set,
Come on, Sue.
because she is going to be doing an event coming up on, David, what's the date?
It's
20th.
April
I
21st.
know my
It's-
head not good. Come on.
Yeah, it's April 21st. This Saturday, it's coming up.
Oh my gosh, that's close.
Hello, that's why we're right here.
Did you put it on my calendar?
I have to put it in your calendar.
You always tell me to put stuff on your calendar, David.
Right,
when I
because I'm
forget.
smart.
And I'm 40.
Mutual calendar.
And I'm 40. Yeah, we have a mutual.
Everybody.
I think you need an
Sue,
intern.
Come on.
Another
We
one.
don't have an
Come on,
intern.
Sue,
I
come
feel
on.
I know.
We need more interns.
More interns.
I do. We do.
You guys are big time.
Dr. Sue. Hello. Look, you're beside me.
Yes, I am.
Welcome
Wow.
back. Welcome
Promotion,
back.
promotion.
So thank you for joining us. Now you have an evening of comedy and culture by the Dr. Sue and You Charitable Foundation, Inc.
Yes.
Coming
So
up.
in line with what you've been talking about,
So
I am the artist trying to.
So
go
you've
out
inked.
and inked.
You've inked, okay.
Inked, yes, absolutely.
So tell us about the event and your ink.
Okay, so this event is comedy and culture.
Yes.
We're bringing IT and Fancy Cat
Right.
and Black Up from Jamaica.
Right.
And they'll be coming here, and we're going to have some local artists, Randy Corinthian and his band.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
He played on my birthday party.
Yes, he did. Yes, I
Oh,
remember.
you said Diddy.
I am. I tell you.
Word of
I tell you.
Diddy.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have Christine Alicia
Very
Excellent.
nice.
into the singing.
Yes.
And should I tell them who's going to be MC?
Absolutely.
Oh, Mr. Sexton?
MCs will be Sexy Man and Dr. Sue.
All right.
So, yeah.
Are you going to raise $100,000?
I certainly hope so.
Sure.
So this is for the foundation, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we also have Harold Davis from Jamaica.
From
Harold is, if you haven't seen anybody make a keyboard talk,
Right.
okay. He does that. And he's going to be taking us through some cultural songs, probably festival songs, Jamaican cultural folk songs, that kind of thing. So yeah, it should be a lovely evening. It's an evening for family. We just want to come out and just enrich, educate, entertain, and elevate, which is what Dr. Sue is about.
Right.
Where's it at?
It's going to be at the African American
Research Library and Cultural Center, 2650 Sistrunk Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale. What's the website? I don't see our website. Is there a
The
website?
website is eventsaurus.com. You can get your tickets
Events are
right there.
online.
Sorry,
Eventsaurus
eventsaurus.online.
Mind Chuck mocks you.
I'm sorry.
And they're running it
Mind
across the
Chuck-
screen.
Oh,
They're running
okay,
it
I knew
across
that.
the
Sorry.
screen.
Our DMR people are on point, guys.
And guys, the tickets are $45. They're going.
That's all?
That's
Yeah.
all. That's all. And I'm telling
Hold
you,
on,
it's
you
going to be
said
more on
it's
the
IT
door.
and Fancy Cat, Black
Can you
Ellis,
imagine
Christina
all those
Alicia,
people?
Harold
Harold
Davis,
Davis.
saxophone guy, like,
Plus us.
Plus,
Plus
Sexy Man and Dr.
that,
C.
can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Alright.
All in one evening of fabulous.
And tell me about Dr. Sue. What is the ink called again? Dr. Sue kind of foundation.
Oh, it's the Dr. Sue
And you,
and
charitable
Charitable
foundation. Tell us
Ink.
about your ink.
So, what that ink is, it's fundraising. I do small scholarships for individuals, students. There's some kids out there that I sponsor, and that goes
In
towards
Jamaica
it,
or
fundraise
everywhere?
globally.
Okay.
Here, there, everywhere.
Africa.
Africa.
Wow.
I go to visit them, so quite a few. So people are always donating to that. So I thought it was important to kind of get it officially
One
done.
of them is a photographer.
Oh yeah.
And your sponsors? Who are your sponsors?
The sponsors here are the Jamaica National Bank, the Jamaica Tourist Board. I'm working with this in collaboration with Creative Connections, so they're there too. And this is the event itself has been endorsed as a Jamaica 55 event.
Very nice.
So
Excellent.
yes,
Is Jamaica 55 this year?
No.
We still
it's gonna be
55 till
56,
August.
55 is running. Until they get to 56.
until we get to 56.
When you turn 40, you have to start reading like that. You don't remember.
Most importantly, proceeds or part proceeds from this event will be going to the Walker's Place of Safety for Children in Jamaica, and this is a transitional residence for young people, usually girls, up to age 12, and they had a fire in January, so they're totally displaced. There are about 36 young girls. Two of the kids died in the fire, unfortunately. So they're quite displaced right now. So part proceeds of the funds will be going towards helping these.
Let's give away some tickets.
Always. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Time is running out.
All right. No, we were having a touching
I
moment
know.
there. But anyway.
But
All right.
we
So,
gotta help
so
them
let's
give
do.
away.
So let's give away those tickets. So the question, you're gonna do the text to win. Do we have text to win up on the screen? You're gonna text the answer to the question. What is the name of the program that the Broward County Cultural Division is running in June? They're doing 4 weekends in June. It's only what is it, $100? Only $100. You may not answer. You may not answer. You may not win tickets.
You gotta text it to the number on the screen.
Text it. All right.
Text
What
it
is
to
it?
the number. Don't put it in the chat. Text it to the
Text
phone
it
number on
and
the
your
screen.
name and what? Like the fourth person to get the correct answer, right, is gonna win the pair of tickets.
No, it's not. We're not giving away a pair. We're
No,
gonna give
we don't
away
win.
to the fourth and to the fifth person.
The
one
fourth
ticket
and
each.
fifth.
Okay.
One
okay.
ticket each, and you
Okay.
bring a date.
Bring a date, all right? You're gonna see IT and Fancy Cat, Blacka Ellis, Christina Alicia, Randy Curran.
Yes,
Exactly.
Bogo,
It's Bogo.
Fogo, free one, buy one.
It's from
Free
Bogo.
one, buy
All
one.
right, so text
Fogo.
the answer to what is the name of the program that the Cultural Division is going to be running in June. It teaches artists how to make some money.
Again, it says something about artists in the name.
Right. Stop giving away.
I should try.
I want people to win the tickets.
Yes, okay, all
I'm
right. So
helping.
David is helping you cheat. Listen, guys, I mean, Google is there, and y'all
We've
don't
been
know
talking about
Google.
it.
Broward.org.
They showed it in the magazine. Remember?
Open your magazine.
Open your magazine. It's on page 5.
There's a
Page
tab.
5. Wait, right, you did that, didn't
I
you?
did say
Page
page
5. So if you have a magazine, page 5, text the answer quick.
Quick,
Trust
real
me, you don't
quick.
want to miss this. You really don't want to miss
No.
this. It's going to be fusion of urban,
So
reggae,
we're gonna
jazz.
do any
everything.
quick questions or
Do
anything?
we have time for that,
Yeah,
or
we're
we're just
gonna
gonna
go
do
5
the?
minutes. We can do some
All
quick.
right. Let's squeeze in.
Let's
Okay.
squeeze in some
So
questions.
we get to skip you and me this week.
Okay.
If Dr. Sue, if you could meet, no. If you woke up tomorrow as an animal, what animal would you be and why?
I'd be a cat.
Because.
What kind of cat?
Anything
Persian,
from a Persian
ragdoll,
up to a
Black
up to a
Panther.
lion.
I don't know.
Black Panther. anything in that family. Because we tend to be docile and calm, and you know, if you push us to the edge, we scratch.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
I like that.
Grace Cool.
Grace is deflecting. Question for me?
Let me think.
Grace
Cat.
Cool. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I already am one. I'm a human being.
Try again. That kind of stuff don't make it try.
That was a good try. I like that.
Good deflection.
Ah,
Okay, real or magical?
right.
Anyone magical
You
word?
could be a unicorn.
No, I think Phoenix is a good.
Nice.
I like the Phoenix.
Nice. I can see that with the hair and everything.
It's not ready yet.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not ready
Yeah.
yet.
Yes.
But it's
She goes
flaming.
to
It's fiery.
The David Muir School of Hair Colors.
Hey, it's a good school.
Yeah.
Because
Or, yeah, or any of the top. Okay, Phoenix, magical, or any of the top predators.
all right, I'm not even getting into the wire.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you would think I would have come up with one, but she
Yeah.
totally blew me away with the magical creatures. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I would be a scorpion
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Because
I am a scorpion.
Yeah.
all right.
All
right.
And the clap hands in to seal it.
Yes.
What okay, we have 3 minutes left, so we can't really ask any more questions.
Yes, we can.
You have answers already?
Oh, and the phone's under the paper. Here.
Okay,
No
so
more
while
questions.
you're checking on answers,
down
I am
questions.
going to do the upcoming events because we have 2 minutes left now.
All right.
So on April 21st, which is this Saturday, we have an evening of comedy and culture by the Dr. Sue and You Charitable Foundation. That's what we've been talking about all evening. And we're giving away those tickets. I hope you've texted in already. Miami Web Fest, where I will be presenting next week, is from April 26th to 29th. I am there on Friday, April 27th. I'm going to be talking about the bicycle and the pancakes and how Taste the Islands came out of all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. 2018 Synergy Summit for Cultural and Heritage Tourism. That's the chat people, the cultural heritage people. That's May 16th to May 18th. And then, of course, the all-inclusive Taste the Islands experience. The one that has the massage parlor and all that kind of stuff. All right, that's going to be
Glam
part of the glam
glam
studio.
studio.
The massage studio. All right,
I'm gonna
that's
come in my robe.
the studio people. You should.
I'm gonna come in my robe.
I think you
can
should.
shop, get it all done.
You
and,
should.
just
All right.
try it out.
That's going to be June 2nd, of course, at the Fort Lauderdale Historical Society. June 24th is a Brides Expo, and that is put on by our friends also from DMR Media. Is it? Yes. Okay, fantastic. And do we have winners? Do we have 2 winners yet?
I have, I'm sure, at least 2 winners. Unfortunately, the battery died, so I have to tell everybody the winners at a later time.
How late? It's
Like,
Saturday.
No, later tonight when I charge my phone in a few minutes.
All right, sorry.
The suspense.
Tell
No,
us.
it's all right. That's
The whole time I've been
I
texting
give up.
and doing stuff, and now I looked and there's
This is
zero
an artist
battery.
that isn't getting paid and can't afford to charge his phone. Okay?
No, there's electricity in here. I mean, look at all the lights and all the cameras. All right. So I'm going to just say thanks to all of you for joining us today. This
Thanks
is
for
a
having
great
us.
conversation. Thank you for the information on how, if you are an artist, you can get some grant money. It's not free money. You do have to work for it. You don't have to pay it back, but you do have to work for it. And the Artist as Entrepreneur Institute, if you want to learn how to make money from your art, they're giving you classes. It's $4 for $100. It's a steal. Thank you, Dr. Sue, for joining us. Your event
Thank
is
you
coming
for
up
having me.
this Saturday, $45. Lots of great stuff. Go to eventsarusonline.com. Mr. Sexy Man, it's sexymanonline.com.
Oh, he's sexy, man.
Oh, where you been?
Hello. Come on.
It's Mr. Sexy Man sexymanonline.com. You need to get that domain.
One
Have
day.
a
Have you
shirt.
applied for
And
it?
a shirt. Sexy man.
Right, sexy man. Sexy man.
Right,
I'm Calibe. This is David. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Adriane. That's Grace. That's Dr.
That's
Sue.
Sue. This
Mr.
is-
Sexy Man.
And this is
I'm
Calibe.
Calibe, and we will see you next week right here on Island Origins Live.
It's